what numbers can you deliver? And the only way you're going to get good at delivering numbers week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out is knowing the analytics and the metrics. You can say, nerd alert, yeah, baby, nerd alert all day. But the truth is sales is moving to a sales hacker approach. It's not about slick, smooth talking sales guys. It's about knowing the numbers, knowing the technology, and leveraging that to close business and hit your numbers. So you can say nerd alert all you want, but it's about technology and analytics and numbers in your brain, not about smooth talking sales guys. First KPI we're going to look at, new leads created by source. How many inbounds did you get last week? Do you know? You should know. How many leads did your SDR generate? What's the conversion rate on those leads from leads to opportunities? What's the best deal size, average deal size by source? The reality is predictable revenue is about leads because those leads lead to qualified opportunities. And so you need to know where the hell your leads are coming from so you can optimize and track. It's that simple. Here's an example of what this could look like. You could basically run this spreadsheet yourself. You can get more advanced, but this is what it should basically look like. Here's my source, my number of leads over a given time frame. So we got basically using a kind of e-commerce model here, something like I use is, here's my inbounds and here's my by source. So I know if I know where the leads are coming from, I can now predict what is going to come downstream, what opportunities are going to flow from those leads, and what closes we're going to get based off the lead source. I know. You're still saying nerd. I get it. You think I'm a nerd, but sales is about the numbers. So pull up your pants and let's figure the shit out. Like we've talked about over and over in this course, what you get in terms of leads will result in opportunities downstream, which result in money in your pocket. So we need to understand the funnel from a lead standpoint, as well as obviously the pipeline and the funnel from an opportunity standpoint. So that said, we need to understand the conversion rate on our leads. If we have 1,000 leads, how many of those are converting into qualified opportunities downstream? Which lead source is producing the best conversion rate? Which lead source is producing the biggest deal? Pipeline value and number of ops in your funnel. This is basic stuff, but you need to know this. How many opportunities are your reps managing? What is the value of those deals? Conversion rates on ops, your win rates. If I have 1,000 ops in my funnel, I have way too many, so I need to reduce that. What's the win rate? The win rate typically stays constant across reps. So there's certain variables you can change, but one thing that's going to end up happening is that your reps, based on your systems, will hopefully all be executing a given win rate. Let's say 2%, 5%, 10%. The variables you can control, you can move that win rate, but not a ton. But you need to know the win rate, and then you can influence the other variables like opportunities, leads, sales cycle, etc., like deal size. You can change those variables. Win rate is a little bit harder to change. You can obviously change that as well. The most important thing here is to know how many deals you're winning, how many of your qualified opportunities are you winning every single month. Sales is about numbers. You have to know the numbers. You have to understand these metrics. You have to live and breathe and eat these metrics. This is basic stuff you can put in a spreadsheet. You can take it out of Pipedrive, put it in a spreadsheet. Pipedrive already provides a ton of this data for you, but it's not that complicated if you actually know what the hell to look at, and that's why I'm here, and that's why you're taking the course. This will show you what numbers to look at. Pipedrive has most of this stuff in the app itself. It's always helpful to kind of have a secondary spreadsheet to continue to update your numbers as you go. Booked revenue, new and existing. You need to basically break out your revenue from new business to existing business. What I've seen is that if you could kill it with your AMs, your business can explode. If you kind of take two things from this course, you're like, I can get more money out of my existing accounts, I can crush it with my existing accounts, and I can crush it with more leads for my AEs and new business, you're going to be set. Because that's a hidden thing that most people do not think about. Oh, my AMs are salespeople? Absolutely. Your AMs are one of your most important group of salespeople, if not your most important. They're going to really help you get that revenue growth. So you need to break out new revenue versus existing revenue. Are you able to upsell that business? Are your account men driving the business forward? Are they your go-to guys? Are they your primetime sales guys, or are they just afterthoughts? Are your customers churning? Are customers leaving? Those are all things you need to think about. So pipeline velocity, we have a whole lecture about this in the course, but the metric is basically combines a bunch of these factors. Win rate. I want to get my win rate as high as possible. I want to get my sales cycle as short as possible. I want to get my deal size as big as possible. And I want to get as many opportunities in my pipeline that makes sense for my business. No one can manage 1,000 opportunities. So it has to make sense for your business and what you've seen work historically in the past. But that's what you basically want to do. Activity metrics. You got to hustle and you got to work. It's not all about these fancy metrics like pipeline metrics. It's about figuring out what metrics to measure to see if your guys are hustling and putting in the work, like number of sales emails sent, social actions taken, calls, in-person meetings, demos. You need to track this on this granular level. This is just a very no-nonsense, no BS type of metrics where you're like, hey, I saw you sent 20 emails last week. He was being lazy. That rep was being lazy. He sent 20 emails. So if you can just have these metrics and you understand these basic activity metrics, it's very easy to call BS on a guy who says, I'm working hard. No, you're not. I can see right here you did 1 call last week. So these metrics are great because it just cuts through the clutter and it's so objective, it's fantastic. Are you going to put in the work day in and day out to measure these metrics, to put in the activities that you need to be successful? Sales is about repeating the same thing over and over. Find the process, optimize the process, improve the process, and execute the process day in and day out.